S.H.E Publishing LLC is a publishing and retail company founded during the COVID-19 pandemic. Through collaboration with our authors, we found that sharing your story may not only be a personal goal, but it serves as preserving your history. It creates a legacy. From the first contact, we welcome our authors by sending them a box of goodies that include our branded apparel, and we deliver white glove service until the completion of their project. We call this the S.H.E experience. We also serve as a support system after the book is published by continuing to market our authors by way of our books and business newsletters and social media platforms with the hopes of creating a network. We wow our authors and their readers with our custom publishing packaging, which is a bonus. We believe first impressions matter. We also host what will become the largest attended and talked about event of every year, our annual marketing and networking conference, where we honor our authors with awards and we provide entertainment, fun, and education. We invest in the authors who want to become publishers, providing them free how to become a publisher training, sharing every step we've taken to build our company. And finally, as an investment in our future leaders, we've launched the Little S.H.E Project, which will promote reading, authorship for our children, and funding for schools around the world. Let S.H.E Publishing LLC be your extended family. Be a part of our community of authors, sister companies, partners, or simply a friend. Everybody has a story to tell. Share your story with the world.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the S.H.E Pub Network, where we talk books, authors, and publishers. I am Shanita Finesse, CEO and founder of S.H.E Publishing LLC. And as you all know, the month of October, we have been showering you guys with the authors, our community of authors that we have on our rosters, the women who are embracing their stories, and the men who are launching history. Yeah, history. And so today, who we have with us today is a woman who has written a book about women of our past and the women of our present. And the title of that book, before I introduce her, the title of the book is Who is She? History and Contributions of the Black Woman from Past to Present. So before I even introduce her, I want to let you guys know, and I think I've been sharing this with you all with a lot of the different talks that we've been having with the authors. All of these authors have been a blessing to me. Having the opportunity to read this book shed a lot of light. I learned so much. And you know what? I'm not going to even keep talking. All right. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce the phenomenal Elogeia Hadley, author of Who is She? History and Contributions of the Black Woman from Past to Present. Now let's give her a hand.
And here we are. Here we
Take
are.
two. Wow. So
Oh
thank
boy.
you. Thank you for joining us today, Elogia. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm great. So what I'd like to start with is a quote.
Okay.
And the quote reads, optimism is an intellectual choice. I'll read it again. Optimism is an intellectual choice. And this is a quote by Diana Schneider. What's your thoughts on that?
Optimism is what we use to see the light at the end of the tunnel. It is what we use to see that silver lining in anything. So the choice part is I thought about it too. Like the choice, we all have choices. So why would you not choose to use optimism? So once again, I like that quote a lot. You have to send me
Yeah.
that one.
I will. I surely will. And for me, this quote actually speaks to your book, and I just wonder about the optimism that the women in this book had
hmm
that you speak of. But before we even get into it, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
um, well, I'm a mom. I'm a wife. I'm a sister. I'm a friend.
Yes.
Um, I'm an author. This is my third book. I live in the Chicagoland area. I was born and raised in Chicago. I went to school in Chicago. Um, I work in the healthcare field for the last 27 years. So, um, yeah, that's about it.
Well, that's definitely just not about it. Okay. There's way more
That's a
to
lot.
Elogia. There's even your name is beautiful. What did your name? Why did your mother name you
My
Elogia?
mom, my mom was so before her time. She was a child of the 70s, and she was a model, and she danced with, they used to call dance ensembles back in the day. I think they call them folk dancers now. But back in the day, they had their own little flavor to things. And my mom's dance ensemble leader was a young Nigerian man, and him and her sat down and pieced my name together. Um, Majority of my name means life, born. Um, Elogia is how you pronounce it. And
Okay.
trust
Elogia.
me, I went through it when I was a little girl. I didn't like it because people kept calling me other things besides my name. And as a child growing up on the west side of Chicago and the south side, I got teased a lot. And it was funny because
Mhm.
how they teasing me and some of their names was just as bad.
Exactly. Look at my name. Shanita. What?
Right. And that was hilarious. I didn't think about that until I got older, but yeah, my mom pieced it. All of my siblings, she took her time and she pieced our names together. And
Wow.
mine's means life, born. Yeah.
That's beautiful. Can you repeat it one more time? Because I've been butchering your name all this time, okay?
Aloja.
Elogia.
Aloja. Mm-hmm.
Elogia.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, it's beautiful. It's
Yeah.
such a beautiful
Thank you
name.
so much. Thank you.
Yeah, so how many books have you written?
This is my third one.
And what inspired you to be a writer, an author?
It was always in me. It was always there. Um, I'm the oldest. My sister under me is 6 years younger than I am, 5, 6 younger than I am. So I was by myself for a while, and I would just write things down. I had an uncle who worked somewhere near a book, like a book where they stored books and things. I guess for the Chicago Public Library or whatever. I think that's what it was. Anyway, he would bring me books, and some of those books it would have like little things where you can trace, and that's what it started. I remember being 4 or 5 years old, just writing things down. I remember in high school, a teacher telling me that I should write. In fifth grade, a teacher told me I should write. When I was going to Robert Morris, downtown Chicago, I was told after writing a brief, you know how in order to graduate, they have you to write all this stuff, right? and they
Yeah.
and you have to pick out off the list what you can write. You couldn't write what you wanted to. So I chose you can't judge a book by its cover. And after I wrote it, I had people in the classroom in tears because I had wrote like from my heart. He was like, "You should write," and I didn't do it. You know, life took over, kids. You know, so
Right.
now is you never too old. So now here I am. I started writing this in 41 when I started doing my research, and yeah, here I am, book number 3, and I'm not done. I'm still thinking of stuff.
Wow. So this is book number 3, and you published
Right.
book number 3, but take us through the journey of getting to book number 3.
Um, so I'm trying to make this short because I don't, because
Yeah,
this
because
is
your first
long.
book, what, what's the title of the first book?
It is Who Are We? Contributions of the African Diaspora from Past to Present. So that one is Who Are We? And my second one is Amazing is My Superpower because I'm the mom of a 20-year-old autistic son. So
Wow.
the first one is when I got to the point where I was watching our kids and I know who they were. I was
Mhm.
watching because I was at the school a lot, and I was seeing that they were having some sort of issue with loving who they were and not even knowing who they were. My daughter has a friend who didn't even know who Malcolm X was, so that just kind of like, yeah. And a lot of the kids don't know. They know their names, but they don't know what they did and
Wow.
the significance of it. So um, when she had a culture fair in fourth grade, because of all of the times I didn't get a chance to do a culture fair in school because we never know what to do. Um, Everybody else had their tables set up with their foods and everything, and I didn't know what to do either. So me and my friends would just kind of watch, and we would participate and go. But that culture fair is what did it for me. I did some research. I started putting together inventors and little things that I could find about Black history. I put them on a slideshow and I put them on the table, and it would go on a loop, and people would stop and look and stand there for long periods of time just trying to wait for the next loop. Who we invented the potato chip? We invented this. We did this, and we had what? And that
Mhm.
triggered it. So I just kept the research going and found so much stuff. So I just felt like Black women in particular needed their own voice. They needed their own space. They needed we do we period. We need our own everything um, because we're always put behind everything else. When people talk about history, you'll hear about MLK, you'll hear about Malcolm X, you'll hear about Marcus Garvey, you'll hear about all the. You never hear about the women, and you never hear about the women that predated slavery. Never. I have
Wow.
never heard of any warrior queens. I found so many. This book was truly a journey. And the research is continuing because I'm still finding things. Things are still popping up, you know, here and there, like the Dahomey Woman King just came out.
Mhm. Yes, the Woman
Um,
King.
yes, they're in my book. And
Yes.
do you see what I mean? Like, I didn't know about them until about 5 years ago. No, who knew? Who predate slavery, who predated it. And it's several of them that did that all over the world. I found um, women in South America. I found the women of the Haitian Revolution. Nobody ever really talks about them, who actually set a priestess actually set off the Haitian Revolution, a woman.
Wow.
So so this is my love letter to Black women. It really is. It's a conversation that we need to have. The back of the book. See, when you get to the back of the book, that's when the conversations start happening. But the front of the book is more of our contributions. That, like I like to say, we ain't never been no punks. I'm just saying.
I love it.
We
I
ain't never
love
been no
it.
punks.
Right? Aren't we strong?
We are.
Right?
We are, and that's okay. And that's okay. It's okay to be strong. I'm seeing now that they're saying that we can't, but as Black women, we have been able to balance everything. We've been able to juggle everything. We can go fight on the battlefield and come ask you, baby, you hungry? After we done went to war, that's who we are. That's who we are.
Exactly.
We can go off on you one moment, and next thing you know, you like, did you eat something? We still looking out for you. We still looking out for your welfare, right? So that's who we
Exactly.
are. We are
Exactly.
multitaskers. We are the trendsetters. We are um, the nurses, the doctors, the healers. We are so much more than we even know. Yes, I mean, I cried a little bit, Shanith, on this journey. I did because, like I said, I
Mhm.
when nobody's ever told you or showed you your greatness, you feel cheated. You feel cheated. So I cried a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, I did. I cried just,
Yeah.
and some of it was happy tears. I was like, "Yay, look what we did." So, and I like to share it with my girls and everybody who has a young woman in their life. I think they should know their greatness. That's actually what I say a lot. Know your greatness. That's my thing.
Mhm. Wow. Well, I'm glad that you trusted us to walk with you in the journey of Who Is She? Because you published your first books and then
Hmm.
you decided to go through a publishing company this time around. Why?
You know, a good friend of mine said that she had published her book there with you guys, and I was like, really? And then I looked at her cover. I was like, oh, her cover. She's on her cover. I'm not brave enough right now to be on my cover. I
But
see
you
that they. I
are.
see that they. I know they stuck that in there, and I was so excited. I was like, I can kind of see me over there, but
Yeah.
and and an old classmate that I not an old classmate, but a young lady I went to school with. Actually, I was in sixth grade with her, way back in the sixth grade. And I was like, I'm gonna go meet Stacy. I haven't seen her in a long time, so I went to your She conference,
Mm-hmm.
and it was so much like family. I felt so comfortable. I felt like you made those authors important. You made them feel important because they are. They
Yeah.
are. Authors are important. People who take the time to research and write and put their passion and their tears and their pain in a book and giving it to somebody else to read. You want to be handled with care. You want to be treated um, with care. So I was like, yep, that's it. That's it. Let me call Stacy. Let me call her. I got to get their number. And I still had the information, the little cards and stuff. Yes. And so I just went through Stacy first. I was like, I want to do a proper introduction, a proper introduction. So that's how I got it.
Well, well, I just want you to know that the Who Is She, we enjoyed that love letter to women. And we wanted to share with you that we actually have that love letter.
Yes.
Do you
I
see
did.
this beautiful
Oh,
book?
it's so beautiful. Oh, it's a girl. It's a
Look
girl.
at this book, y'all.
Oh my
Look
gosh,
at
that is so beautiful.
I wanted to surprise you.
Oh, thank you. That
So
is a surprise.
you will
That
be
is
getting
beautiful. Oh, wow. Wow. See, I knew I chose the right people. She is beautiful.
this book, this cover. So we actually went through a couple of covers before
Yeah, we
this
did.
one. It wasn't even going to be this cover. But you know what? It was meant to be this cover.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes, it was. Yes, it
So
was.
I just really wanted to surprise you.
Oh,
We
it's
have
a
this book.
surprise.
So you will be
Oh my
getting a
God.
copy of this book. And so what we're going to do is, since this is not alive, we're going to post
Hmm.
this to our YouTube. We're going to post
Hmm.
it on Facebook, and you can share this with your friends and your family. And so
Okay.
whoever
That
goes
is so
on,
beautiful. Thank you so much.
whoever goes on there, like, subscribe, whatever, say
Hmm.
something about you. Their name will be entered to win their book. So we're going to give them a free copy of your book as well.
That is great. That is awesome. I was like, I'm just ready because it feels like you give birth. It's like, oh, yes,
Do
she's
you
here.
see all of this?
She is beautiful too. Look at her.
So I like to, I mean, some we're gonna have to dive into this book. We're gonna have to share this book with the women of this
Hmm.
world, with the little girls
Hmm.
of this world.
Yeah.
We actually just started a non-for-profit, the Little She Project.
Hmm.
And it's not just about girls, it is the girls and boys, but the little girls, we want them to know the history. We want
Yes.
them to know some of the things that we've done. We want them to know about the Malcolm X's, and we want them to know. When I was reading this book, because I don't always have an opportunity to
Hmm.
read the books,
Hmm.
but it brought tears to my eyes. The
Hmm.
things that some of these women went through, the
Yes.
experiments that they
Yes.
did with
Hmm. Yes.
us.
Yes. Isn't that something?
This
Isn't that
is,
something?
I'm just like, I can't believe it, but this book is so full of value.
Hmm.
You did a lot of research on this book. I commend you. You are an amazing woman yourself.
Thank you so much. Thank you. But yeah, I told you I cried a little, I laughed a little, but yeah, when you look at Black women, we've touched this world voluntarily and involuntarily. Because of us, science was progressed. It's because of our ancestors and what they endured, and we have to keep them in mind all the way. Always, we have to keep them remembered. You know,
Yes.
you have to keep them remembered because I couldn't imagine being a woman of that day. You're doing your job, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, and somebody comes snatch you up and steal your cells. You know,
Yes.
you know, you're in the field, and here he come want to do some sort of experiment on you. And then the ones that didn't even make it here, on a ship to this call so new world, and they never even made it. So that's why I had to separate the book from the first book I wrote, because I felt like it was detrimental for us to understand the depth of what women go through, and what specifically Black women go through and have been through. And you heard me say go through. It's like it's never ending because I'm still hearing
Right.
stories of I went to the hospital and they keep asking me for my blood. I see, if you know your past is true, you'll understand your future. It's like
I like that.
can't nobody play you. Can't nobody play you now, right? So um because you know what happened to her, it could happen to you because we're the same people. You know,
Right.
that's what we have to start looking at each other like that. Because when I see you, I see you could be my sister, cousin, you could be anybody to me right now. I don't know. I even did my ancestry and people keep popping up. I'm like, wow, I found my grandfather back 1806, and my grandmother, great 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 grandmother. And I said, just imagine all the people that they gave birth to, and we don't even know who they are. So we have to treat each other like sisters and start some sister circles so we can go on vacations and stuff like that.
Yes,
So we can get to
yes,
know each other a little bit better and stuff like that. Because it's time. It's time. Our daughters are strong, and this will make them stronger. Most
yeah,
definitely.
yeah. We need to do some sort of a retreat with this.
Right.
Uh,
Yes.
it's absolutely amazing. And then even in the book, it talks about it not only talks about women, but it talks about money management tips. It talks
Mhm.
about
Mhm.
other
Mhm.
things.
Yep.
I'm just gonna read a few bullet points. Be honest with your children about life. Teach responsibility and accountability, especially about sex. Teach
Mhm.
them hygiene. Right, right. It's so true. And
That's
I have
true.
four girls. I have four girls.
Oh wow.
So
Yeah. Yep.
teach them self-care and how important it is to take care of their bodies.
Mhm. You'll be
Teach,
surprised. Yeah.
yeah, teach
Mhm.
simple economics, how to save money and practice good spending habits, teach
Mhm.
them to respect themselves and others. So it definitely is deep and goes into the history of the different things that happens, but it brings you from the past to the present of the
Yes, it
things
is.
that we need as women, what we need to do for ourselves. And um this is such a value. Wow. So um if you're so have you ever thought of your book as something else, audiobook or in a movie or something like that? Have you, you know what, The Woman King actually is a movie.
Yeah. Yeah, and they're actually in my book. Yep.
Exactly. And this was
Mhm.
probably before we even knew about The Woman King
Yeah.
was even coming out, because how long did it actually take you to write this particular book?
Maybe about from beginning to end, maybe about 4 years to collect
Wow.
all of the information. Yeah. And my last part that I added was in um, December of last year, 2021. The last part of the book is Black Love. Does Black Love exist? And I did a little
Mhm.
research with that. And that was another moment, some ups and downs. I had to call some of my sisters on that one
Yes.
because it was work. It was work. It took me to some dark places because COVID has changed people's minds, and some of people have lost their minds. You know,
It's
so
true.
and they said the divorce rate went up. They said violence in our community amongst married and people who live together, that went up. And it was in a dark spot when I got that last little piece. And a friend of mine says, I'm going to send you some stuff so that you can look over and you can feel better about it. And she um, sent me some links to Black Love, um, like little chat, like not chat rooms. What do you call them? Groups, little groups,
All right. Mhm.
on different on TikTok and stuff like that. She would send me stuff like that. And it made me feel so much better. Like she was sending me weddings and stuff like I don't know if you've ever been on Nigerian weddings, but those weddings are hot. They're like money popping up, the little money things, the money
I've seen
machines and
those.
smoke coming out of our phone. I was like, what is going on? So I was like, okay, I feel a lot better now. And the women are beautiful. They got these beautiful, wraps on
Doggone.
and dye, and then they blinged out. I was like, wow, wow, that made me feel so much better. So when I got that last part in, um, that's when I called you guys in January or February, I think. But I didn't start until maybe 4 months ago. Yeah, something like that. No, I called you right after the conference. I called you right
Yeah,
after the
you sure
conference.
did.
Yep.
You sure did.
Yeah, but we didn't get
Yeah.
started until the spring. Yeah. Yeah, that was something else. But I'm happy, and she's
Wow.
beautiful. She's so beautiful.
Isn't she?
Mhm.
All right. So I'm not going to hold you all evening, but how can someone get the book? How can they, if they wanted to get in contact with you, how can they do that? And even
Okay.
with your other books, how can they get all your books?
Okay. So they can contact me on elogiahadley.com. That is my website. They can contact you at She Publishing on your website to get my book. I am on TikTok, E.L. Hadley. So L Hadley, E.L. Hadley is my TikTok. My IG is Elogia Hadley, my first and last name. On Facebook is Elogia Hadley. um, and I also have it on my Etsy store. I'm going to put it on my Etsy store. And my Etsy store has a new name. It's Be Me 365. BEME 365 is my Etsy store. Um, yeah, that's about it. That's how you can
Uh,
get my book. And on Amazon. She's on Amazon now.
Yes, she is. And so, will you be joining us on November 18th for the masquerade?
I will be there. I will be there.
Yeah. And so again, thank you. And you will be receiving one of these proof copies soon. And we're going to post this interview so that someone else can get a copy of a free book as well. So thank you so much. And we will talk to you next time.
Thank you, Shanita. Have a good night.
You too. All right. So that was the author of Who Is She? This is quite the amazing book. You all have to get this book. Um, Miss Hadley put a lot of work into this book. There's messages to Black women. There's lots of things about the women who helped to advance science. I'm telling you, this book is full of knowledge, full of inspiration. I would not be surprised if this book popped up in a college, university, schools, high schools. We're gonna speak it, y'all. This book has to be in colleges. It has to be in universities. It has to be in our schools. African Black History Month. We have to promote this book. So definitely support Who Is She? And look, we got more for y'all. So we have plenty more authors. We want you to see them. We want you to come out to their book fairs, and we want you to come and support them and see them get their awards on November 18th. We are having the second annual She Conference and Networking Convention. Again, you will be able to purchase their books there. You will be able to meet the authors. And some of the authors will have their own sessions. Day 2, November 19th, is free. It is free. So we want to promote that second day because it is free, and you will be able to learn about writing as well as history and all of the other good stuff that we're going to have. So with that said, thank you for joining us at the She Pub Network. Mm-mm.